Okay, so good afternoon. Welcome everyone to this new session of our Data Science and Statistics webinar. Today we welcome Elizabeth Fernandez. Elizabeth works at Público Media News already since 2015. She started there as business analytics, but then she created the analytics department, and she's leading the dataset strategy in the organization, where she builds a more data-driven culture, supporting all departments, where, as she says, turns data into information, information into insight, and insight into business decisions. Today, Elizabeth will explain to us how they do data analysis at Público and how this impacts the company. Welcome, Elizabeth. The screen is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity to share with you our recent history. So in this presentation, I will try to share with you the digital transformation and how analytics help the public to achieve the business goals. We start by a briefly introduction about the public history. Then I present to you our data strategy, how we perform analysis, and the last steps, the challenge that we are facing. And if someone is interested in study our data, we are open to think in new projects and to use our data for new projects. So Público is a newspaper with 30 years. Since the beginning, we have a strict editorial team that defined strict rules for our content. The first newspaper online was in Portugal was presented by Público. We were the first news company providing online news in Portugal. Then we developed an iPad app, the iPhone in 2015, then the Android, and so different platforms were developed since now. At Público, we have several different brands. Along these years, we have improving and increasing our content to achieve more readers and increase engagement. We have Fugas, P2, Y, Inimigo Público, Cine Cartaz, Guia de Lazer, P3, Impar, and since 2014 we began with the subscriptions business. More recently, we have the exclusive content and also new web pages with leituras, stand with ebooks, Clube and games for face this pandemic reality and to help our readers to have better moments at home. So the Público universe increases and started with the paper, and now we have our content in many different platforms in different formats like newsletters, in different channels and news in social networks like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, also podcasts, our apps, YouTube, and messengers. So we are in all these digital platforms. Our universe is really big, and the data have been increasing a lot. So in some of these social networks, we are leaders, like Instagram. We have the biggest account in Portugal as a media company. And in the last March, we achieved the first place in the national rank. We achieved the highest number of readers in Portugal with 3.8 million persons and more than 100 million page views. So our universe is really big, and all these impacts on a daily basis decisions. So we need to use data and analyze our data. We are the online newspaper with more readers, and the Today News. We are the online newspaper that had more visits in the last year, more than Expresso and Observador. So we have a high level of engagement and many data. And this history starts, I want to share with you the history of our digital transformation. So we started with a simple website, and then our model, our business model, and all the newsroom workflows needed to be changed to face all these needs, all these new platforms, and all these new kinds of behavior of our readers. The digital transformation impacted all the business, including news, because we have many different automation solutions. Digital customer accesses are really variable, and we achieved a level of big data, volume of data. So all the newsrooms all over the world, they had to move and face the digital transformation and transform all the workflows. This was really hard, and in 2017, because of these difficulties in all the online news companies, the Professor Lucy King published an interesting report that provides us a roadmap for with guidelines to make this organizational transformation. And in this presentation, I will focus more in product and data. All the other points are really interesting. If you are interested, you can see in the report, but here I will focus more in product and data. So data achieved a special role inside the newsroom. And the new roles and new kinds of teams were emerged inside the newsroom. For example, the distribution team is a new kind of team inside the newsroom that is always aligned with the analytics team and optimize the distribution of the content all over all those channels. So all these kind of new roles, new kind of workflows, uh, new ways to think impacted all the media companies. Inside Public, what happened? What happened in the last 5 years? How Public started the digital transformation? How is right now? What kind of data we use? Which data? And what kind of reports and dashboards we provide to each department. This is the goal. Since 2015, we start to build our analytics group that culminates in 2018 with the analytics department. At that time, we had the subscriptions business starting, and the company decided to invest in analytics and in data analysts. In 2015, when I arrived to Public, I faced an interesting challenge because the company had a lot of data, but data all over the place with Excel and silos of data everywhere. And we started to define our data strategy, focused in three main elements: the people, how people need the data, what kind of data, what data they have, the technology that we had, and the technology that we needed to acquire, and the processes all over the company, since the journalists until the commercial team or the subscription team. Our strategy had is a twofold strategy. In one hand, we started to develop reports with the data that we had at that time and stabilize the data with the IT team, explore new sources of data, analyze the quality of the data, and implement gradually data culture inside the company. And on the other hand, a long-term strategy that was a communication internal to sell, let's say like this, to sell the vision of the data, to convince convince the people, the journalists and the newsroom team that the data is there and the analytics team is there to help and not to judge the journalist's work. And on the other hand, our team worked closely with the design team to implement and develop dashboards and reports personalized for each section. So the same information, for example, that goes for the culture section is presented in a different way that the information that goes for the economics or the social section. During the recent times, we achieved the point where all the teams ask to the analytics team about how to do, what is the best strategy to publish this article. And this is the more recent achievements that began with this strategy that was defined at that time. In 2015 and 2016, we started with many meetings with all the teams and the sections. In one hand, the newsroom, because we needed to understand what kind of data they need and how they use that information to improve their results as journalists. And in the other side of the company, the subscriptions team that wanted to achieve more and more subscribers. And we needed to see what kind of data they have and they needed in the future to improve the results and increase profit in the business. We started by defining our internal and external data sources and defining priorities. We draw our data schema to start in a simpler way and complexify along the time. And we defined the first list of questions that wants to be answered daily, weekly, monthly, and with other kinds of frequency, like A/B testings in the website, understand which box works better inside an article page of opinion or an article page of a special report, etc. So in 2016, we had the first automatic report for all the newsroom. As you see, it's a simple report with simple KPIs, visitants, page views by session, and some information about the top 10 articles. And since these reports and more recently dashboards increased the complexity and are more, we have more variety of reports according to the needs of all the company. So we year by year we were reorganizing and redefining our overall goals and our key performance indicators, our KPIs, because for example in 2016 and 2017 we looked a lot to page views, but and nowadays we are focused on readers and visits or sessions. So our reports were increasing in complexity. We aggregated information from the website, from the apps, from the social networks, notifications from the browser or mobile, and all the results day by day or month or weekly for the newsroom. To communicate the information from these reports or dashboards, we sent a personalized email daily and weekly for each team and for leaders of the team, explaining what is happening and what could be better. And we ask for continuous feedback. We write in different colors with some smiles and some details to engage our colleagues to see the reports and to improve their decisions based on this information. So we have an overall information of our readers. We know where the readers are inside the website. We know all the historical data about the campaigns that are offered to our readers, the results of subscription campaigns, the information from websites from our followers, and also data from our competitors. We analyze real-time and historical data. This allows us to increase our acquisition and retention We have a multi-channel strategy for our campaigns, subscription campaigns, and we develop some strategies to increase our offer and increase subscriptions on the side of the business. And in the side of the editorial team, we develop new solutions, for example, in the newsletters, and we increase the conversion rate inside the newsletters to achieve more readers, more engaged readers, the readers that stay more time inside the website. And for me, one of the main or more important moments in our company was in 2019, when the company decided to rebuild the newsroom in Lisbon. And the goal was to take out all the papers and have a more a modern and a digital newsroom. I don't know if you will listen, but I will show you a small video. Let me show you. Where you can see this move from the paper to the digital.
Um saco cheio de cassetes, gravações de entrevistas. Eu não sei o que é de fazer a isto.
É uma típica limpeza. E eu não faço ideia do que é que está aqui.
Oh, sorry.
Eu não sei o que
Que é limpeza de primavera. E eu não faço ideia do que é que está aqui dentro. Nunca. Laurentina.
Gaveta dos Tourinhos, é tecnologia obsoleta.
Prender jornalistas a cagar.
A vantagem de fazer uma limpeza como aquela que estamos a fazer agora para se organizar melhor, temos que falamos muito, porque pelo meio vão também memórias.
São as fotos de 2017, 18, 16.
O público está literalmente em obras. A nossa redação em Lisboa vai ser transformada e aplicada um novo modelo de organização pensado no digital. Vamos ter uma nova aplicação e uma série de conteúdos pensados exclusivamente para leitores que queiram acompanhar a atualidade passo a passo.
So we rebuilt all the newsroom, and now we have a more digital space, despite the fact that we are in a pandemic environment and now we are at home. But I will show you in the next pictures that we have a new newsroom, modern and digital. So we work in a big data environment. For me, the most important, we have a high volume of data, variety of data, but for me, the most important is the value that we can extract from our data and the information that we give to our colleagues to take better decisions and to achieve better results, to achieve the business and the results that we have right now. We are the newspaper with more visits in 1 year. This is something spectacular for us. All this information is worked and some part of this information is extracted for Google BigQuery for the cloud of Google. We use the Google tools for to build reports, dashboards, and also to build some machine learning models. So we have many sources with storage data. We export some data to BigQuery that we consider important for our reports. Then we have two sides of information: real-time information from the website and social networks, and historical information from our website, apps, and social networks. The goal is always to optimize the experience of our readers and optimize the decisions taken for our colleagues. This allows, all these moves allow us to have the reader at the center of decision making. This is something completely new inside the company. Is something hard to achieve because the journalist was used to write an article and okay, he's writing the article for one shot for the paper, and now he is used to write an history and rebuild and see the evolution of his history along the time and perform and make changes of this history according to different channels and according to what the data is saying to him. So despite of this data and all these dashboards, it is crucial and important for Público to be clear about the values. So for Público, it's important to guarantee that we have truth, accuracy, independence, fairness, and impartiality with our content. So the analytics team provides recommendation to improve increase number of readers, increase engagement, increase subscriptions, but never we never give recommendation. If you don't mind to turn off your micro, please. We never give recommendations of content because this is something editorial. The goal is always with the content that that Público has, achieve the better number of results. And we have a good relations with our journalists, and they come to us to see the numbers and to take better decisions to distribute the content in all the channels. We analyze three kinds of, and take three kinds of decisions. We look at historical data to analyze what happened and to see what we can do better in the same kind of content or the same conditions. We analyze real-time data and give informations and insights to the editorial team. And we also analyze the data to predict future and in the same conditions, for example, Christmas or other events that are close to the past, we can recommend some strategies for the journalists. For real time, we have Chartbit. It is a tool that provides lots of information to take decisions in real time. We look the levels of engagement for platform, what are the pages that are performing better or not, what we can do to increase that performance. We look at historical data, dashboards that are built in Google Solutions, that is Data Studio. And all these reports during the last years are analyzed, and we have many workshops with the editorial team to analyze, make some debates, and look at the numbers and learn what actions to take with this kind of results. Always with three elements: looking at the reach, we want to always achieve the maximum reach; looking at the recirculation, that is the number of articles and the time spent inside the website by visit, and the readability. We want that the reader reads a lot of our article and recirculate inside our platform. So we, along these years, we have changed our KPIs because the goal is engagement. The goal is customer retentions. That is why we want more readers, more visits, and more time for visit. We always focused in engagement, time spent on page, time spent by visit, readability, if they go down, what articles perform better and less, and why, what happened, what we can do inside the article to induce the reader to stay more. So the analytics acceptance was difficult because the journalists at the beginning look at us and thought that we were there to judge their their work. And during these last 2-3 years, with all these workshops and all this communication and team building, good team communication, we achieved what I think that is the better. That is when the journalists come to us to ask and to listen our opinion as analysts. For analyze and maximize our reach, we look at different KPIs. The most important are user sessions, returning visitors, engaged time, pages by visit, average time per session. And another channel that we give a lot of attention are the newsletters. We have many newsletters. They are completely different. We have daily, weekly, and monthly, special newsletters and thematic newsletters. For each newsletter, we have different goals, but we always want to maximize engagement. That means we want that the readers click in different points of the newsletters. We want that they come to our website from the newsletter and stay many time and do many page views by visit. What is optimize the content distribution? That is something that 5 years ago it was something really simple, because we had the website and Facebook. Okay, it's simple, but nowadays it's a really hard task because we have many channels, many different social networks, the content in text, video, images, and optimized content distribution is a hard and new recent task that in our newspaper is working quite well, because we have the distribution team that communicates directly with the analytics, and at real time they are always taking decisions looking at the numbers. On the other side, we have the subscriptions department. We start with a simple paywall, a paywall freemium. That means we have, I think that was 20 articles free, and then the reader has to pay. But during the last 10 years and 6-7 years, these models have been complexified, and nowadays some newspapers have more developed paywalls. Some, like Financial Times, stay with a hard paywall, but others, the newspaper, are investing in models with machine learning and artificial intelligence, like this paywall in this article. The adaptive paywall is a paywall that is built with a mathematic model that considers the reader behavior and also the information of the article, the value of the article, and only presents the paywall if the propensity of this cookie to subscribe is high. If not, the paywall is not shown, and then the readers keeps watching advertising. So this paywall optimizes the revenue considering subscriptions and advertising. But there are not many newspapers using this kind of paywall. It's something recent and complex, and the business teams doesn't like complex models that are difficult to explain. So some newspapers like Wall Street Journal, they invest and they are using the dynamic paywall. Is a paywall that uses a machine learning model that gives a propensity score by cookie to subscribe, 1 to 10. And the subscriptions team defines the number of articles by level of the propensity to subscribe. Is something more interpretable for the team. That is why the teams prefer this kind of models nowadays. Other newspapers have hybrid paywall. We have an hybrid paywall. We have something more mixed between complex the exclusive contents and also the freemium paywall. Our subscriptions in the last year increased 63%. We achieved 37,000 now in January. and we are really happy with its number and also with the visits. So we achieved our goals. Our team in the side of business analytics analyzes all the points of conversion inside the website. We analyze also all the newsletters, all the campaign newsletters. We see, for example, the subscriber penetration in the website, the ARPU, the conversion rates, the intersect rate, the engagement of the subscriber and the register, what is happening in the engagement of the subscriber, and we are always trying to increase and improve our product to increase the engagement and guarantee that churn is minimum. We also analyze in really a lot of detail all the exclusive content and all the conversions point of our exclusive content and the edição impressa and also Clube P. And if we look to the maturity of subscription analytics scale that was presented by the Institute of Media Strategies, we can say that our team, our analytics team, is in the middle. So we have automatic dashboards, we have the dashboards for each section, for each business unit. We deliver personalized recommendations and emails. We have KPI tracking, but we need to invest more in modeling and build some propensity models. So I can share with you that in the past we had a machine learning model to provide recommendations, subscription recommendations to our readers. This machine learning used information of the reader as subscriber, yes, as reader to decide the best moment what kind of value to propose. We had a good conversion rate in churners and also in the anonymous, but in register was not so good. More recently, Financial Times, that is a good example that we always follow because they have the best practices. Financial Times developed the RFV, the recency, frequency, and volume score, is something close to the RFM of the marketing, and the V is the volume. So we also look at this RFV because it's a score of loyalty and engagement. But for us, as a media company, analyze the points of conversion and analyze all the behavior of the reader is something really complex because we face two problems. One is the user cold start, because we have more than 55% of our cookies that visit once in 3 months, and the item cold start. That means we have all days 130 new articles, and this complexify our task for content recommendations. And the path inside our platforms of a reader can be really, really complex. We have many points of conversion as reader to convert a person in a reader in a app, subscriber newsletter, or as a subscriber to pay for read. We build also the RFV for our readers. Now we give recommendations, different communications, and also subscription recommendations differentiated by segment, by level of engagement. And we are improving our segmentation. The goal is always retain and engage. And we also have segmentation of our subscribers. We use the BigQuery machine learning solution to segment our subscribers according to the level of engagement, the RFV, and also the value of the subscription and antiquity and other variables related to the subscription. We are developing a ranking to understand the top problems in the call center that our readers tell frequently to see how each of these terms or problems are improving or being resolved. We are nowadays developing a shared model with a student of Nova University. And in a simple way, I'd like to show you our analytics challenges. We have in one hand the digital media analytics that focus on achieve readers, achieve engagement, and increase the distribution of our content according SEO KPIs, content KPIs, traffic KPIs. We have the business analytics part that is focused in achieve more subscribers, retain subscribers, and renew more subscribers, and also the other advanced analytics part now with the RFV and the segmentations that we have. In the future, we want to develop a propensity model for subscribe and also work with recommendation algorithms. Maybe if someone is interested in work with us, it can be possible. And finally, I can share with you some examples that if you are interested, you can see at the INMA conference. The shared model of media is really interesting. The pricing analysis that were presented by Valentini. The predicted success of an history that Afghan Post presented is a real interesting article. And the paywall adaptive and these new approaches of the paywall that are something that I would like to investigate more, and if someone is interested, we can speak. The public digital transformation is ongoing. We'll never stop because always we have more and more channels and more different formats to distribute our content. And as we see with our news of today, we achieved the highest number of visits into 2020. We are the reference newspaper with more readers, and we have a number of subscriptions that is really good for us. So I think that analytics is giving a good contribution to achieve the company goals. And if you have any questions, I am available for answer.